Good day, dear subscribers. Again, me, it's Shahzad Kabilov here. So today I'm going to introduce you another achiever on IELTS 8.5 band score, which is really great. So her name is Madam Kamola. So, hello Kamola. Tell us something really interesting about yourself.
Well, I think it's a little bit tricky question because there's so many people out there and they can be much more original than me and etc. So, but when it comes to talking about something that's really unique about me, I would probably say that one of my unique traits is that I'm really keen on different competitions and just doing my best. Like, it's not only about victory or even only about checking my knowledge or just going somewhere. It's also about something like deeply personal, to just go to some even exam and just do my best. So I'm always ready for this, and I'm always ready to participate in any competition or event, and I'm really happy when I do it. Well, apart from that, I can actually just list some of my interests. Well, it's music. One of my interests is music. I can play the violin and the piano, and I really like it, especially the violin. Well, in the future, I want to work with space. I want to become an astrophysicist eventually, but first of all, I want to become an engineer. I want to complete an engineering degree, and in the future, become a research scientist in astrophysics, or at least an engineer who can just help with maybe terraforming other planets or just designing the spaceships for interstellar travel or something. Well, that's my goal. Actually, it's my dream to do something like this for space, to work with space. I guess that's enough for this question.
Great, really good. So, could you tell me what was your real passion in learning foreign language, especially English?
Thank you for this question. It's actually the question which I get asked of a lot. Like, many people ask, what was your passion to learn English and stuff like that. Well, I can say that at first it wasn't something about passion. It was just really worrying for me to not know English, and I wanted to know it. Well, I started going to different language centers and just learning English, but it was just for the first couple of months or maybe years, because then I just started learning English on my own. I started reading books in English, just maybe watching some videos, listening to some podcasts in English, and from that point on onwards, it became just something like an interest, hobby, or a necessity for learning, because English is really helpful for just learning other subjects too. Like, I can easily access some information in English too, and of course there's so much more information in English and, for example, other language than the information on one language or even two. So in the beginning, again, it wasn't much of a passion. I was just interested and I just wanted to know it really well, but then it became something that I wanted to do in order to be successful not only in language but also in other areas, in engineering, especially since I want to become an engineer and later a scientist, and well, for other areas of life too, because with English I can just easily talk to foreigners too. Although I have never really talked to so many people from other countries, I still want to do it. It's interesting for me.
What is the main role of your parents in your current achievement?
I can say that the role of my parents in my achievements, all of my achievements, is really huge, because they have always been there for me. Like, even if maybe they cannot help with preparation, like with academic side of the like competitions, they were still there to encourage, to help with something like maybe, I don't know, be nervous or something like books, buying books, for example, for just learning, or supplying me with internet or anything else. So actually it was my parents who gave me this wish, this motivation, and actually zeal, maybe even to learn something more and more. I mean, I was interested in learning English even when I was younger, so I did it willingly. I mean, it wasn't something that my parents forced me to do. But still, they were always there to actually inspire. Like, even if maybe I had some problems or difficulties, they would say like, don't worry, it'll like just work out, don't bother about it. And I'm really thankful to them for this. And apart from that, they were always with me during my competitions, during some really important events, especially when I was really nervous or worried, I don't know. And they just never stopped me from doing what I liked, what I really wanted to do. If something that I wanted to do was not really right, they would just tell me that it's not really the best way to do it, or for example, it's not really the most efficient way to do it. You should do it in a different way. But even then, they would allow me to explore it myself, to just understand for myself what maybe incorrect things I was going to do or mistakes I could make. So I'm really, again, thankful to them for this, because they just never stopped me and they always encouraged me. I guess this is the most important thing, and they were always there for me. Even if they could not help with some aspects of preparation for anything, they still were there to support morally, emotionally, and just from the perspective of family.
Give at least 3 advice for your peers in learning foreign languages. In your case, is English.
Well, if you ask me about advices for learning English, I guess they are really miscellaneous, and I cannot give 3 perfect advices which would work for everybody. But I can talk about some things which definitely worked for me. So first of all, it's reading books. It is something that 100% works for me, and I guess for other people it will be worth too, because when you read books you can just acquire so much knowledge, not only in English but also in other fields too. And by the way, I'm talking about just reading books in English, not in any other language. Well, aside from that, the second advice I guess would be to just do what you are interested in. For example, for me, it was just learning. I accessed some online courses and some books even about science, about math, and I just read them, and I still do it. And it was really interesting for me, and it's really interesting. And sometimes I read articles in English about different topics, maybe science again, maybe maths, maybe something else, sometimes news. So it's interesting for me, and I just do it, and it doesn't take too much effort to do it, because it's not a learning process even. Well, it is a learning process, but it's not something like a classroom learning or something, or homework. It's just really interesting for me, and that's why I do it. Well, the third and last advice would probably be to never fear and never stop. You should not fear taking up a book and just starting to read it if it's not in a foreign language. So I have heard many people say I don't want to start reading a book because I don't have a proper level of English or other language. It can be the case when you are just in the beginning of your course, but with time it will stop being the case. Will stop being a problem, because even if you start reading and the first book is really difficult for you, then with time you'll get used to it. But if you start earlier, you'll just get used to it earlier. So just try to do it and never stop learning. I guess those were the 3 advices which I would give to any person who would ask them, but I'm not really sure if it's going to work for you. I hope it works. So,
as an appreciation for your achievements, so we are greatly here for you, and to give it's a small gift from the Agency for Promoting Foreign Language Learning. So, and then we wish you the best of luck, and then never stop in these achievements, because it's only the beginning.
Thank you.
You're mostly welcome. That's for you.
Thank you very much.
So, dear subscribers, this is another interviewer with the great achievements. So now, this is your turn. Sign up for our social media websites. See you soon. Have a great day.